Hello, and welcome to Bada Boom. Today, we're ranking all the movies from Marvel's Phase 1, the start of the MCU. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment with your ranking list as well. At number 6, we have Thor. While Thor would later become the comic relief that we love, he started out in a much different way. Thor in this movie behaves like a child throughout most of this movie. He has very little knowledge of Earth, which is to be expected, but it comes off being more annoying than funny. His story arc isn't very convincing, and he very matures in this movie. It takes two more movies for him to show some sort of normal behavior and maturity, but maybe Asgardians take longer to mature. Loki shines in this movie, which makes me laugh that Tom Hiddleston once tried out for the role of Thor. I'm really glad they've continued to bring him back to be Loki, and in the end, Thor's origin story is here to introduce characters to the Avengers and future MCU projects. And for that, it lands at number 6. Number 5, The Incredible Hulk. When The Incredible Hulk came out, I remember it being, well, incredible. The graphics, the fight scenes, the story was solid, I thought. Bruce does have pretty good relationships on screen. It's the one and only time we see Betty, which is a shame. She's an important character that we've never seen more of, but we've seen plenty of Thunderbolt Ross. The Hulk does smash, as he likes to say, and we do see some great groundwork laid for future villains, but we just really haven't seen that come to any fruition. Universal's deal with Marvel has kept them from being another solo Hulk movie. And while we did get to see Hulk appear in Thor Ragnarok, it's just not the same. If we had another solo Hulk movie, I think we would look back at this origin story a little bit more fondly. I will say the fight scenes and the CGI in this movie are great. And as we've seen more and more of the Hulk over the years, they've kind of made him less muscular and less mean. But I kind of feel like that's just the Disney treatment. Hopefully in the future, we'll get a more hulked out version of the Hulk. We are expected to see some more Hulk characters and the Hulk in Phase 5 of the MCU. And we did get a She Hulk series. But for now, The Incredible Hulk sits at number 5 on this list. Number 4, Iron Man 2. Packing a soundtrack full of AC/DC, Iron Man 2 comes in at number 4, the only sequel to take place in the first phase of the MCU. Iron Man 2 gives fans more of what we want: explosions, Iron Man suit, and of course, a snarky Tony Stark. If you didn't stay for the first post credit scene of the first Iron Man movie, this would also be your first time seeing Nick Fury. This caused me some confusion at first and taught me the important lesson of always staying for the post credit scene. We also get introduced to Black Widow. Iron Man 2 does a great job with introducing characters. I think Jon Favreau has a gift with introducing characters, letting them have their own moments without pulling the spotlight away from our main characters. He does this so well with Don Cheadle as Rhodey that it doesn't even feel like we skipped a beat. Iron Man 2 develops Tony more to a hero, but he's still pretty reckless and nonchalant. But hey, if you're dying, who wouldn't be? Iron Man 2 is overall a good sequel, better than most, but it's still here to set us up for the Avengers. Had it been a franchise all on its own, kind of like Christian Bale's Batman, I think we'd have seen better dynamics of villains and character development. And for that, it lands at number 4. Number 3, The Avengers. What was considered the best team up movie of the time, Avengers became the standard and the goal for movies for a few years. I wish I could put this movie higher on my list, but number 3 is a solid spot. I get nostalgic for this movie because of the team ups and the fight scenes. However, looking back, I feel like this movie was too long. It's only 2.5 hours, and it feels jam packed. I mostly remember the dynamic of Tony and Captain America, which is a great foundation for what happens in Civil War. All the other characters have kind of received the Joss Whedon treatment. They tend to represent small parts of their characters that most people know throughout the entire film. No one really grows or changes. Maybe Bruce does, but with Mark Ruffalo becoming the Hulk, it still felt so new that we couldn't really feel that character development happen. Joss Whedon fills in the space with plenty of jokes, which sets the tone for more MC movies to come. And overall, I feel this movie could have been better and really relies on our knowledge from the previous movies to get a good rating. So as a standalone movie, it lands on number 3 for this list. Number 2, Captain America, The First Avenger. For some reason, I really remember there being a lot of hate for this movie. Maybe it was the CGI. It did look a little weird seeing Chris Evans' head on the CGI short body. And while Chris Evans was hesitant to sign on for a 7-movie deal, I think he was the perfect cast. The first of 2 Human Torches to be redeemed by Marvel. This movie was the last movie before the Avengers, and it was a great setup without sacrificing the story. Supporting characters like Howard Stark, Bucky, and Agent Carter really helped this movie shine for me. The friendship and relationships that Captain America has in this movie are all genuine. Nothing feels like it was done just because it was a movie. Everything is done with a reason and purpose. No wonder Captain America has one of the strongest trilogies. It is well deserving of number 2 on my list. And at number 1, we have Iron Man. This is the movie that started it all. It's crazy to think we almost didn't have Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, but no one else could fill his shoes. The story arc for Tony Stark, while it may seem kind of simple, it's exactly what we need to start the entire MCU franchise. There are so many great quotes and points of development for Tony Stark that really help you fall in love with this character. We get the introduction to Agent Coulson, Shield, and if you were one of the few people that stuck around for the post-credit scene back in the day, you get to see Nick Fury, which is a big hint at what's more to come. Without this movie being as successful as it was, we may have never received the entire MCU that we have today. And it definitely wouldn't be what it is without RDJ. We've got to give him props and thank him for his determination to continue being Iron Man throughout the entire MCU. Overall, this is a great origin story, and it's hard to find another one that would match up to this one inside the MCU. And for that, it lands on number 1. Thank you for watching our ranking of the MCU Phase 1. Do you agree with our list? Submit your own list in the comments below. And look out for our next ranking of Marvel Phase 2. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe below. Bada boom!